Hello again, everybody, and welcome to the special edition of Coco and Dalts. This is the hot take. This is the quick wrap. This is the rapid reaction. This is news flash.
We don't know what we're going to call this, which is why we're trying out several different names.
And meanwhile, we've got different music underneath us than the usual kind of music.
We should, like when you're totally saying this is breaking news, I should put like a submarine, like bing, or whatever.
Like,
yeah, totally.
like a telegraph, because all of our listeners will know what a telegraph is.
I'll get our crack editing team right on that to do that.
That's a good idea. So what we're doing here, we're reacting to news. This is a new thing we're going to try. And what we're doing here is we're reacting because we're all big fans of the royal family.
No, we're not.
We are going to react to the new baby boy being born into the silver spoon crowd over there in merry old England.
Literal welfare queens. That's what they are.
Well, and kings too, I guess.
Oh yeah, true. But right now we got a queen.
When applicable.
Yeah, we got a lady now.
So the official name of the baby, which
born
was
to Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, a.k.a. the Duke and Duchess of Sussex.
Former Toronto resident Meghan Markle, I might add.
Former C-list basic cable drama star Meghan Markle.
The official name of the baby...
Baby Sussex.
Archie Harrison Mountbatten-Windsor. So there's a hyphen in there, Mountbatten-Windsor.
Yes.
Which, do you go up to the Queen and say... How's it going, Mrs. Mountbatten-Windsor? You don't... I didn't even know that was her last name. I didn't...
Yeah, because Prince Philip is an ancient misogynist and didn't want to not pass down his male name, to his children. So they had to issue letters patent stating that all descendants of the Queen and Prince Philip would have that surname, Mountbatten-Windsor.
So you know a lot about this royal family stuff.
I did go to the London School of Economics.
Well, la-di-da.
But you're Canadian, so you should know this too. You're a Commonwealth citizen.
I can't say that I'm a monarchist. I can't say that I support, just being born into luxury paid for by the taxpayers.
Like I said, literal welfare queens. This is why I can't support them.
I like the entertainment value of the whole thing, but
basically they're celebrities.
Yeah,
that's all they are. They're just
they're figureheads.
Yeah, state paid celebrities.
They're on a lot of the money that I grew up with over the years. Well, the Queen anyway. Mm-hmm. I don't really have any sort of affinity for them. I don't have any loyalty for them.
Oh, we forgot something.
What did we forget?
I'm not Dalts.
And I'm not Coco. We got so excited about the news flashy thing.
About the new music and stuff.
The new format threw us off entirely. Well, maybe that's part of the new format. We just, we introduce ourselves halfway through.
Yeah,
and this is supposed to be a quick take, so we're going to talk quickly about it.
So we gotta get this show on the road because we're just babbling like normal.
So what we want to talk about here, alternative names for the royal baby. First of all, Archie. Why was it not Archibald?
I don't know. I'm not really sure.
I know the Harrison thing was son of Harry.
But his name isn't even Harry. It's Henry. Harry is a nickname. So I understand Henryson isn't a name.
Maybe he doesn't know that.
I'm pretty sure he knows
Or maybe Meghan Markle doesn't know that.
Oh, maybe.
Maybe she said, this is what we're doing. And Harry was like, okay.
Yeah, probably.
Because she's older than him, right?
Only by a couple of years.
Yeah, and she probably bosses him around.
Just because that was your experience doesn't mean that was everybody's experience. We're not cutting that part out. I don't care.
No, I'm fine with it. Truth is funnier than fiction sometimes. So
I've seen corners of the internet that are very pro Meghan Markle that don't like that name. I think it's fine. I think it's weird. He's not going to be an HRH, His Royal Highness. I don't know if that's because they want to try to give him as normal a life as possible until Charles becomes king and then he automatically gets the HRH. Or if the Queen was just like, nah, I'm done giving those out. But he's going to be called Master Archie because he's not Prince Archie. And I couldn't say that with a straight face.
Master Archie.
Yeah, if I were like his preschool teacher, I wouldn't.
Do they call him like Mastarchi for short?
Mastarchi. I don't know.
I think the funniest thing today was I was on Twitter because I was bored at work and I was looking through the feed and the official feed for Archie Comics tweeted and said, I'm baby.
And I mean, if they have another kid, then you get Jughead, and then you get the set. So,
Well,
Jughead, Mountbatten-Windsor.
Some would say Prince Charles kind of looks like Jughead, with the ears flapping out like a cab driving down the street with the doors open.
I'm going to go on a tangent here. I'm going to say I think he's become quite handsome as he has aged. Like when
He's grown into his looks?
He's grown into his looks. Like when he was a young
Prince
man.
Charles? Are we talking about the same guy?
Yes. Like, I mean, he's not like Idris Elba. But, for like an old guy with the
Skin
Windsor.
color's a little bit different. But.
I mean, for like a 70-year-old guy with Windsor jeans, like he actually looks pretty good.
There's a lot of cross-pollination going on there.
Yeah, I mean, look at Prince William. Like, teen Prince William, hot. And then he turned 25, and suddenly he's just like poor Kate Middleton.
Well,
that's not what she signed up for when they were at college.
Well, do you think that either one of them signed up for anything?
I think she signed up for a life of luxury.
That's where I was going. Is they didn't sign up for love. I think they signed up with maybe love in mind, but
he signed up because nobody else would have him.
You think so?
Oh yeah, none of the aristocratic ladies wanted him because nobody wants to live life in a fishbowl when they could marry somebody in their own social circle who's not royal and have all the wealth and everything else and not have any of the social scrutiny.
But could you imagine that life? Like, I just couldn't imagine that life.
I wouldn't want to do it. Like, no amount of money is worth the amount of scrutiny that you're going to get.
So there go all my days of walking around naked, eating breakfast in the morning. Because the paparazzi's like peering through the hedge with the telephoto lens. So I got to have something on.
No, I mean, that's me. That's me peering through the hedge with the telephoto lens.
That's no telephoto lens.
Okay, so back to baby names.
So names. So
if this is supposed to be rapid reaction and we're already at like 7 minutes, then we need to get to the actual baby names.
Well, our usual ones are 40 minutes, so
that's true.
We got lots of time to not have time.
So Dalts and I both love our jobs, so we literally spent like 2 hours texting each other this morning, alternate baby names.
The secret is out.
Yeah, so
I mean, lay some good ones on me because Coco, you had the classics. So this was before we learned of the baby's name, by the way. So we were texting back and forth saying, I wonder what the baby's going to be called. And of course, this question was born of pure innocence and curiosity. And we were coming up with legitimate, possible suggestions.
Dalts was coming up with actual, like, snooty, upper crust sounding names. And I was just, like, throwing spaghetti at the wall.
Other than Nipsey Fussell, which I just noticed.
Which I think is hilarious. Like, Master Nipsey.
Master Nipsey.
Master Nipsey.
There's MC Master Nipsey.
Yes. So
lay some on us.
So one of the alternate names I came up with was, if they are Jermaine Jackson fans, Thor Jer Majesty. Because one of Jermaine Jackson's kids is actually Jer Majesty.
Because nobody's going to figure that out.
And I mean, it's good because that's like Her Majesty. So it's circular.
My favorite of mine was Snuffleupagus Beckinsale.
Yes. I also suggested Kiefer Toblerone.
Kiefer Toblerone. I liked Hannibal Dostoevsky. That was a good one.
That was right above Maximus Wagamama. They're ramen fans. You didn't see that one, did you?
I did see that one, but you can't laugh in text, so you can't laugh at work either.
I also like that you suggested Benedict Cumberbatch. That was a really good one. Master Bendy.
Master Cumberbatch. Well, one of my favorites of yours was Cornwall Vegemite.
Cornwall Vegemite. That was pretty good. I'm not gonna lie.
And then I tried to come back with another one that was Elvis Crown. I can't even say it. Elvis Crownthorne.
This is why we have a podcast, so we can crack ourselves up.
Right.
Not because anybody's actually listening.
This is for us.
Right.
This is the recorded version of our text exchange today. And then there was Ned Rock and Roll.
That is clearly the winner. So for anybody who doesn't know, Kate Winslet basically had a midlife crisis and married a guy who actually changed his name from Abel Smith to Ned Rock and Roll. Rock and roll being all one word. And I discovered during my actual research for this.
What? You did research?
I did, because I knew about Ned Rock and Roll, because that was like a really big story when those two got married, because his name is freaking Ned Rock and Roll.
His name is legitimately Ned Rock and Roll?
So,
like Ned is his first name?
Yeah, and his last name is Rock and Roll.
All one word.
Yeah, and he changed it. I guess I think they were in like a house fire or something, and after the house fire, he had his own crisis and was like, I don't want to be Abel Smith anymore. I want to live life, carpe diem. So he changed his name legally to Ned Rock and Roll. But I discovered in my research that apparently back in February, he was just like, nah, dude, I'm in my 40s. I can't be named Ned Rock and Roll anymore.
Rock and Roll.
So he changed his name back to Abel Smith. So now there is like a Ned Rock and Roll vacuum. And
So somebody needs Ned Rock
somebody
and
needs
Roll.
to step up. So I'm very disappointed that Harry and Megs didn't.
You have clearly done a lot of research on this. I was just off the fly sitting at my homogenized workstation on the 10th floor, just kind of thinking of things to say. But you were doing research on this. You were doing some deep thinking.
I suggested Ned Rock and Roll before I actually Googled, like, did he capitalize both R's and the N, or was everything lowercase except the first R?
This is audio. Nobody
And
cares.
I Googled it, and then that was when, like, all these stories from February popped up saying Ned Rock and Roll changed his name back to something that's not ridiculous. So, and all I got to say is, honey, is there a more obvious red flag than a guy who has changed his name legally to Ned Rock and Roll? Like, I'm not expecting that union to last.
That's what she did to him. They got married, and then he had to change his name. He lost his mind.
No, I think that was before they got married.
Oh, it was before they got married. I thought you said it was after they got married.
Maybe. I'd have to go back and look at the gossip stories from like 5 years ago when they got married. But it's still ridiculous.
I think we should also mention your suggestion, Dashiell Mac Whack-A-Mole.
To honor their Scottish roots.
I think
Mac Whack-A-Mole.
Mac Whack-A-Mole. I think there's a pattern here is that all of these names have multiple syllables.
Yes.
So that's why I tried to counter with John Smith.
And John Galt.
Prince John Smith. Yes, and then John Galt, because I figured, why not get literary?
Camper Van Beethoven.
Yeah.
That was another one of my suggestions.
Reginald McGillicuddy.
Like,
Ladies and gentlemen,
and this
Your
was-
Majesty,
Your Majesty.
Reginald McGillicuddy. Please stand for Reginald McGillicuddy.
This was like at 9:30 in the morning, and I swear I had not been drinking.
I doubt it. You'd been doing something else.
No, that's not on my list of approved dietary foods.
That's a whole other podcast.
Yeah,
where I go off.
Yeah, Dalts' head is going to explode.
Where I flip the desk over and yell.
And Master Ned is going to save the day.
So, for those of you who are still listening to this podcast,
If you were not, you totally missed out on like Dashiell Mac Whack-A-Mole. Like, your life is worse off.
so for those of you who are still listening, you might
Cornwall
want to
Vegemite.
wake up because you missed a bunch of the podcast and you
Right.
slept through, so that's why you're still listening. But also, let us know what your favorite is.
Right. I think we need to put up a Facebook poll with the like 5 or 6 best alternate baby names and have people vote. And then maybe we could start like a, care.com petition or something.
Oh, I just thought of another one.
Oh, what?
Moon Unit Mountbatten-Windsor.
Yes. Or maybe like Moon Unit could be all one word, and then like Dweezil could be the middle name. Like really go nuts with like the Frank Zappa.
Frank Zappa,
spawn.
because there's no bigger fan of Frank Zappa than the royal family.
I mean, I don't know. Prince Harry. I mean, he's he was a partier in his youth.
They got. I'm trying to think of a Frank Zappa song. They've got that playing on the CD on repeat because they don't have MP3s or anything like that.
I know a Frank Zappa song, but I can't think of one off the top of my head.
Yeah, the only ones I can think of have dirty titles, so I'm not going to say them.
The Queen still has a gramophone.
Gramophone, because she's a Grammy.
Okay, on that note.
Gramophone. So for this quick edition of Coco and Dalts, this rapid reaction, this multi-layered quick hits. What? Help me out here. What? Lots of information in a short amount of time.
13 minutes.
Look at
that's
that.
good for us.
We jammed it in.
All right. That's what she said.
No, everybody's
All right.
okay. So, so let us know what you think of this quick format, but also let us know what you
Think of the alternate baby names.
come up with and give us your own.
Yeah.
And keep them clean, people, because this, Facebook, we want them to keep us on there.
Well,
We don't want them to, you can be edgy,
like Cornwall Vegemite.
like Cornwall Vegemite.
Coco and Dalts at Facebook. Check us out.
And for this edition of the quick takey thingy, I'm not Coco.
And I'm not Dalts.